Today we're making Eggs Benedict 3 different ways. Stay tuned. So, we've got a pot of water heating up to create a double boiler. And we're going to heat up another pan to melt some butter. We are going to want to add in about a 1/4 cup of butter. So you want to separate 2 egg yolks from the egg whites. Now you can just put the egg whites away, save it for something else. Grab a little bit of lemon juice. Have a double boiler ready, which is basically just a bowl and water. So now you want to take your egg yolks and just put them in that bowl. Meanwhile, your butter should be just starting to foam, but you don't want it to get brown. Just when it gets to the point of foaming, you can just leave it warm, keep it on low heat. And so what you want to do is break your egg yolk, and then just get a little bit of lemon juice, very small amount, just because the acid and the fat will combine together. You're gonna start whisking it over the double boiler, just like so. Slowly drizzle in your butter, and while you drizzle it in, whisk very fast so it emulsifies and does not break. Okay, so it begins to get a little bit thick like this, as you can see. You can add in just a dash of water. There you have a very nice looking hollandaise sauce. And just make sure to keep it in a nice warm spot. For our poaching liquid, we're adding 2 caps of vinegar. What that does is it actually helps the egg whites to stay together, not really move apart. And so this pan is getting real nice and hot. So what we're gonna do is we'll take 2 nice little cuts of prosciutto. And you just want to let it sear for a little bit. Something about the texture of crispy prosciutto is to die for. Okay, so I'm just gonna rub this around in our pan a little bit just to clean it. We can turn the heat off now. And we'll just put this on a platter. Just like so, and it is just, oh, smells amazing. And do not clean this pan yet because we are gonna use this to toast our English muffins. So we'll just move that to the back and turn it on. You can see that there is a good amount of steam rising and there's just a few bubbles coming up, but it's not on a full simmer. And so what we're gonna do is gently crack our eggs. Here's what I do that I find really a helpful method. You wanna get your water into a little bit of a whirlpool, and right away while it's spinning, crack your egg and just watch it spin in there. And it sort of holds together that way. And so you're gonna let that cook for about 3 minutes. In the meantime, while that's cooking, we are going to get this pan back nice and hot and add in just a dash of butter, just so we have a little bit of oil and you get the flavor from the prosciutto. It's just absolutely delicious. Okay, so now that your butter is nice and melted, we're gonna take our English muffin and just put it in the pan. Let that toast just for a little bit. It has been approximately 3.5, 4 minutes, and our poached egg is looking really nice. And you can just take that and put it on a towel very gently. Okay, so our toast is looking really nice and gorgeous. So we're gonna assemble our sandwich. Okay, so now we're gonna make another version of Eggs Benedict. Essentially the hollandaise sauce is the same exact thing that we just made, but I want to add a little bit of adobo. So I've got chilies, chipotle chilies in adobo sauce. You can find that at the supermarket, and I'm just gonna use, I'm not even gonna put the chili in it, just a little bit of that adobo sauce I'm gonna drizzle in. Depending on how spicy you want it, you can add more. I like it fairly on the spicy side. I am actually going to personally add just a dash of honey. As you know, I love honey, just to sort of reduce the intensity of the heat. And that is my basic adobo hollandaise. Okay, so now we want to get a pan nice and hot. And what we're gonna be using is the pork that we made the other day. Check out my video if you haven't made it already. It is delicious and you're gonna wanna make this. And we're just gonna simply heat it up. So I added a little bit of water to just deglaze that fond that you saw in the crust. And I'm just gonna add just a tiny dash of barbecue sauce, just to give it a slight barbecue-y flavor. You really don't need to do it, but this is my preference. And this is already like a barbecue pork in a way. It is delicious. It doesn't need anything in the first place, but why not? Turn the heat off and just let that sit. So poach another egg, same exact method as before. Just look at that. For our third and final version, start dicing an avocado. So I'm gonna add lemon juice. I would also recommend doing some lime. I'm also gonna add just a dash of garlic, a small pinch of salt just to season it, and a tiny bit of black pepper. I also like to add in just a dash of coriander. Then you could just mash that together. I like it nice and chunky like that. A little secret is I like to add in just a little dash of Salsa Verde. Just because it will enhance the flavor and spice it up a notch. Otherwise you could just add it separately, but I prefer it mixed into the avocado for some reason. And that is your lovely avocado sauce, sort of guacamole, and we'll put that aside. Okay, so next what you want to get is some sort of a smoky sausage. You could use chorizo, whatever you can find. This is just a cooked andouille pork sausage. And so per each Eggs Benedict, you're gonna be using about half to 3/4 of a sausage. So just keep that rule of thumb in mind. And we're just gonna coarsely chop it, just like in my taco video. In the meantime, get a pan on to medium-high heat. Okay, so you can put that aside. And I'm also gonna dice half of a medium onion. Okay, and we'll just add that straight into our pan. Once the onions are just beginning to brown, you can add in your sausage. Often you want to start mashing it up a little bit. You can use the back of a wooden spoon to sort of squash it. So now that your sausage is starting to get pretty brown, what you can do is add water just to sort of deglaze it. But what I'm actually doing is adding a little bit of sofrito. Sofrito is basically a tomato base with a lot of garlic and cilantro flavor. And then I add in just a dash of water. So we're going to make another hollandaise sauce. This time it's simply just lime juice instead of lemon for our acid. I'm gonna add in just a dash of coriander. That's it. Okay, so once your sausage is crispy to your liking, we're gonna scrape that out. And just like before, we're gonna use the fat to toast our English muffins. And just like sponges, you want to let those guys really soak up that flavor. Thing we're going to need for assembly, I also decided to add some queso fresco. Make sure to try these recipes out. They are so delicious, worth every calorie. If you're working out on a regimen, make it your cheat day breakfast. All right, guys, I'll see you Monday.